So why don't you join in with 24-hour party people? Plastic face can't smile the whites out with the 24-hour party people. Plastic face can't smile the whites out. I can see you through the coat, the bricks you in bread on water. And there's a grudge on you, you know you're not ought to have. You've been running around the racetrack. You've been running around the racetrack. Put that mother to bed, to bed. Put that mother to bed. Oh, they shoot you for our pattern people. Plastic face can't smile the whites up. It's up the way for you to conduct. Press the pause of the self-destruct. With the 24-hour pattern people. Plastic face can't smile the whites out. With the 24-hour pattern people. Plastic face can't smile the whites out. Better you're the white out. I mean full time. I mean part time. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 6, 5 all the time. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full time. I don't need that part time.
This is the Champions League semi-final.
You won't find nobody better.
No time.
Well, many years ago now, I really can't be sure. That's when it all began then. I heard that knock upon my door. And the Wolfman's brother came down on me. Where the telephone was ringing, it's when I handed it to Liz. Said this isn't who it would be if it wasn't who it is. It's the Wolfman's brother, the Wolfman's brother coming down on me. So I might be on a side street or stairway to the stars. I hear the high-pitched cavitation of propellers from afar. It's the Wolfman's brother, 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 the Wolfman's brother coming down on me.
What is up, everybody? What is up? LSU Odyssey in the house. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. This is kind of an NFLU Odyssey. NFLSU Odyssey instead of usually LSU Odyssey. Today it's going to be a bit different. Where before the night with Will Campbell going 4th overall, and then we also did some more coverage, some more live streams the day after him going 4th overall, and some of the updates of what was going down, and maybe some of the projections of where some current or maybe some former LSU Tigers were going to end up in this draft. Well, now we know the whole thing's as they say in the books, and it's just incredible. I think it's something. It's something I said in the last time we did this. I think you're going to look back at this era of LSU players, and you're going to be like, wow, how did this group not win a championship in 2022, 2023? How did these teams not do that? And maybe you look at 2022 and 2022, that team wasn't ready. And it's like the team made the SEC championship game with the offense being like totally unfamiliar. Basically just Jaden Daniels going off and not trusting his receivers. So receivers didn't put up really any big numbers. Very, very, very weird season offensively, but yet very successful still. And you were loaded with talent on a team like that, on a team that was maybe not remembered as a great offensive unit of what would become in 2023, but you still look at 2022. It was like you had who you had in 2023, but you added Kayshon Boutte. You added, Jack Bech to the mix, who just went 59th overall. Mason Taylor in his first season, where we actually used him more than ever before. I take that back. He had more receptions this year, but I think he actually had more targets as a freshman. Definitely more touchdowns. But anyway, really, I digress, as I am wont to do. We are here to go through some of these LSU Tigers and all of these guys, where they went and what's going on with each pick. Will Campbell, of course, 4th overall. We'll just go through him really quickly because a lot of the show last time was mainly about him. But basically, for the short arms conversation, it was complete bullshit. We just knew that was never going to fly. We knew that kid was going to get drafted. He just had to get drafted in the top 10. And it's not even, you could say maybe his arms are shorter. Ooh, but like he doesn't have the longest arms of a tackle. But he has the fiercest mentality, the most competitive mindset, and you're just you really you're killing your team. Shoot. 1 second. Was that whole thing just on unmuted? Was that whole thing just sorry, I think I had a tab going the whole entire freaking time. So my voice could have been coming out double or something like that. Holy crap. My bad. We'll start over if possible. So many different tabs going on because I'm wanting to show you guys so many different things in this live stream. Sorry, my bad for overlooking that. We'll just start afresh. But some guys go into some crazy places where I think you're going to see the best out of these guys. But I think when you look back you're going to look at, the Jaden Daniels era, the Malik Neighbors era, the Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, Charles Turner, era of the offensive line, Mason Taylor, you go through all these names and you're going to be like, wow, how did LSU not win a national championship with all these guys? Brian Thomas Jr., it's crazy. And then even, someone who didn't get drafted like a Josh Williams, who still had a hell of a career at LSU. It's really wondrous why and how LSU didn't at least come close to winning a national championship, at least in 2022, 2023. SEC championship game appearance, but it'll forever be kind of something we look back on when we see, because Mason Taylor, program's highest ever tight end in every category except for touchdowns. The 2021 class, which was recruited by Coach O, but they still, those guys transferred out of the program because of Brian Kelly being hired. You really kept all those guys except for Deion Smith. And you have now 3 guys picked inside the first 59 picks. Jack Bech in the second round this year, and then Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors in the first round last year. And then this next year, you could have Chris Hilton Jr. also joining that group. Crazy what the 2021 class has done. Just absolute insanity. And the fact that we could not cash in wide receiver U with another Biletnikoff Award during this era, or even really gaudy numbers outside of that 2023 season, there was a lot of underperforming at receiver. A lot of guys who weren't utilized to their maximum. When you're looking at like Jack Bech, his freshman year, that was a dude who could have led LSU to some type of respectability when LSU were looking at a 500 season, and they gave the guy the ball marginally. We didn't have the quarterback to give the guy the ball marginal. Kayshon Boutte gets knocked out for the season. Who you're going to turn to? You had to turn to your freshman. It was just, it's crazy where LSU finds themselves now, where you've retooled at receiver and you're looking really good for receiver this season, but you've lost all these guys now to the NFL. It's just incredible, the names. It's just insane, the names. And that's really illustrates the talent that comes through not only LSU, but the state of Louisiana, really. And that's, Trey Harris, another Louisiana guy. So this isn't just limited to a few people or even just one school. Because as we know, there's a lot of Louisiana guys who leave the state. Whether that's in the portal, but later, or they ignored by LSU, whatever. Things don't work out with LSU, stuff like that. But this draft was absolutely littered with Louisiana talents, but then you also saw a name or two of guys who left LSU who turned out to be complete superstars elsewhere. It was Mason Taylor taken by the Jets, who was next on the draft for LSU. He was taken in the second round. And instantly you're thinking, oh, man, wow, like his old man played for the Dolphins. Wow. But it's like you forget that he played one season? Jason Taylor played one season for the New York Jets or something. So it was like there is some type of ties. And not to mention, the LSU people were very quick. LSU online social media accounts are very quick to be posting these photos of Mason Taylor in New York Jets as a kid. in New York Jets garb. So it was cool to see that happen. I hope he is able to be successful as a New York Jet, but my God, I really wish he would have been drafted by a different franchise. Just me saying that for Mason's sake. I hope they do some type of winning there, but that's just rough to me, in my opinion. But that's just rough for him. The Jets have been no matter how good things are for that franchise, things just don't seem to click ever for that franchise. No matter, Nick Mangold had a Hall of Fame career or something, or might have a Hall of Fame career from the Jets, and he got to a few championship games, I believe, in the Ryan era, but the Jets, they haven't won the Super Bowl since Namath, 1970. They haven't won a Super Bowl since Jimi Hendrix died. But yeah, Mason Taylor taken with the 42nd overall pick by the Jets. And then you saw Jack Bech, former LSU Tiger, taken in the second round by the Las Vegas Raiders, which is just crazy. Pete Carroll's Las Vegas Raiders, 58th overall in the second round. This is awesome. This is a former LSU Tiger, Lafayette, Louisiana native. I hope I didn't butcher Lafayette. I swear I say it right every time. I'm not trying to pronounce things correctly. I usually just say it and think it's going to be correct. And sometimes people correct me. There's sometimes I've mispronounced things, but usually I get it. But Lafayette, right? Lafayette. I swear that's correct. But Jack Bech is Lafayette, Louisiana through and through. And this is just, I'm going to have to take a drink of water before I go into this. Jack, it's no secret. It is no secret to many of you that we are big, supporters of Jack Bech, and that we consider his family as well. We've made no secret of that. We've never tried to hide that. We've never tried to, bury that or hide any bias or anything like that. We're definitely biased here. But I'm not going to apologize for that in any way, shape, or form. And I never have. And there were a lot of people who used to give me a lot of crap for the support we would give Jack during the wilderness years, as I call them, when he was injured or he wasn't playing much at TCU or at LSU because of these injuries, moved around to returner and stuff like that. And he was a rock star at LSU, Jack Bech, as a freshman. Comes out of St. Thomas More High. LSU didn't give this kid an offer forever. Coach O, he's the man. Mickey Joseph is the man at the time. They would not give this kid an offer. Jack Bech, they would not give this kid an offer. And they already were going, and it's not like Jack Bech was under their radar or they were missing him. He was the main receiver catching 200-yard games against Catholic High, from their 5-star quarterback, Walker Howard, who they would constantly go and pay visits to. And so they saw Jack Bech and what type of dude, what type of absolute dog this kid was at the time. And for some weird reason, and I know they had a stacked class in 2021, but you got to think of it this way too. Malik Neighbors was not signed until literally like a 11 and a half. It's not even 11th hour signing. It was literally on signing day when he flipped from Mississippi State, his commitment to from Mississippi State to back to LSU. It was a signing day flip because LSU just simply had not shown him the interest. He had not played his senior year because of some stupid transfer. He transferred from Como to Southside and couldn't play his senior year for that reason. And he wasn't getting the looks from LSU. But then at the 11th hour, Mickey Joseph went in for him. 11th and a half hour, last second on signing day. And they were already loaded on that class, 2021 class. But remember, they didn't have Brian Thomas Jr. yet. He signed even later than that on the second signing day in February, I think. Maybe even after that as well. Maybe even after, I think it was a few days after that signing day as well. But as loaded as they were, Jack Bech was the only type of hybridized player where you could do, in my opinion, multiple things with him. He's not just a dude you put out of the boundary and you kind of have him do these jump balls or have him run some out routes or whatever. Or maybe you just stick him in the slot and only the slot. Like, he is a dude where you move him around and you have him do multiple things. You put him in the backfield, you motion him out into the slot, you get him into the matchups, you get him into motion pre-snap, and you can absolutely destroy fools. He's got the speed that is something that he's not really known for, and you saw that in his draft profiles. A lot of people kind of dogging him on speed. There's a reason he was selected as 59th overall in the second round. Very highly thought of by a Hall of Famer in college football and in the NFL, who started a dynasty in both leagues as well, Pete Carroll. There's a reason Jack Bech wasn't picked. It's not just because of the story. It's because there's a fire in this young man that has only grown in the last 5 months because of what he's been through. And he's betting on this dude is going to really be not only a great player for our team, but someone that we want just to be a part of. And that's how you feel about Jack. That's really how you feel about Jack Bech. There's a reason that you want him to be on your team. There's a reason you root for this young man with all of your heart. And it's not for the obvious reasons. It is for the reasons that no one sees. For, the late nights, the early mornings, the conversations he has with people as a good friend that helps people in their dark times of need. There's things that Jack Bech has done for people that I've been told about that it's just like, I already knew what a good dude he was. I've already felt that and seen that firsthand. The way he's treated me, the way he's treated my family, it's just incredible. But the way the way he was as a teammate at LSU, at TCU, he's gonna go to Vegas as a Raider, and he's going to absolutely dominate. They're already pegging him to be a starter week 1 for the Raiders, and I believe that because the Raiders, their receiving core has they really don't have many names. They really don't have much ammunition there. A rookie could come in there and start week 1, and guess what? That's exactly what would be perfect for Jack Bech, because here's the thing: I think as much success as he had at TCU as a senior, as much success as he had as that rock and roll freshman year he had at LSU, that was just so much fun to be a part of, and so much fun to see his family kind of ride that ultimate wave of their son being an absolute rock star at their alma mater, at the school that his uncles won championships at. It's that was amazing. But he has never had a sustained chance at a team, or sorry, a chance with a team where a team is able to just watch him develop for a few years here and see him grow into a role. And I think you will come to see he could be a hybrid tight end on some plays in a kind of vibe. He could be a boundary contested catch type of kind of traditional receiver. He could be a burner over the middle, like working guys with how he absolutely, the way he cuts with some of these routes, the way he can just stick that foot in the ground and make that cut, the way he can sell it. The physical viciousness Jack Bech has after the catch as well, the way he can just grind people into the ground. There is multiple plays in his LSU history where it took so many different defenders to get him to the ground. I'm thinking Auburn, Ole Miss when he was a freshman, and the Alabama game, where you're talking like the entire team is standing him up and the dude is still not going down. I'm not making this up. I'm really recalling these plays. That I'm trying to find them as we speak right now because they were nuts. And he looks like he's in the best shape of his life right now. He's in the best shape that I've ever seen him in. He looks like he could outrun you right now. He looks like he could be faster. I'm not saying like you can train speed, but when you get leaner, your body gets better. Your body is getting more recovered from the injuries that he's been through. He's got more distance, more time away, more time healed. It's just time in the bank that your body's feeling better and feeling good. And now he's going to be going to a professional, an NFL training and medical research, everything. They're going to be taking care of him 100%. It's perfect. I'm so glad he was able to finish his college season, getting that 1,000-yard season, nearly that double-digit touchdown season. Just one touchdown off from a double-digit touchdown season. Just goes off for TCU. Has even a 200-yard game at one point, a few 200-yard games, I think, as well for TCU. He just had an incredible senior year. Jack Bech drafted 58th overall in the second round, which I don't think a lot of LSU Tiger fans, when he left and transferred from the program in December 2022, I don't think a lot of Tiger fans saw that coming. I think if you're honest with yourself, you didn't see that coming. And I got to be honest with you. So bad was Jack's injury when he was first at TCU. The things I was hearing, the things I was being told, I was wondering, should he play football? I never doubted if he could get back on that field, if he could have that chance, that this would be possible. If he could finally be seen for who he is, the type of player that he is, this is what is possible. I always knew it. I never doubted it for 1 second, even in the darkest of days, because when you see a player like this, the game never changes. That's what I love about football so much. It teaches you these crystallized life lessons that once you see something like this, it is kind of like an age-old rule. I saw greatness in Jack Bech. Bona fide greatness in Jack Bech. And I think that's what you're going to see in the NFL. The way that he has been the strength, the pillar for his family during this really unimaginable time where you lose a brother Tiger, but you lose him in a highly public terrorist attack in your own, like the capital of your own hometown. I mean, not hometown, home state. It's just it's still surreal. It still is just like it makes no sense. And the fact that he has taken all of that. I mean, this is also a dude who lost his good friend Kyron Lacey as well recently. All of these guys who went in the draft. We showed you Will Campbell's the pin that he wore for Kyron Lacey, picked 4th overall. That was a big stage for Will, and he used that to talk about love towards the Lacey family during a time where they've been getting a lot of hate that they don't deserve and a lot of stupid social media comments. It was fantastic from Will, fantastic from all these guys speaking on for Lacey and being there for his funeral. His pallbearers were guys like Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier, Brian Thomas Jr., and I believe Malik Neighbors also were his pallbearers. But we just we owe a lot to Jack Bech and his family personally, and I think we have to make a good saying of that. Pay tribute to that, because this is a family who have been incredibly good to us for years. And it is just when there's people who go through hell, losing a child being the worst, and then you see your other child be able to achieve the ultimate dream that he's been working for. I'm just so glad for Michelle and Marty to feel that. You know, it's not going to bring Tiger back. Nothing will, but it's a win, and it's something that just a celebration, because Tiger's still a part of it. And that's what's awesome, is Jack wearing the cufflinks that are his brother's fingerprints on them. He's got the Rolex, Tiger's blood-stained Rolex. And he's never going to take that thing off. And it's always going to be with him. I even was like, Jack, make sure whatever franchise you go to, make sure they have security monitoring your watch at all times. Make sure they know this isn't just some Rolex. So, like, even if people get like, ooh, I want to steal a Rolex, they'll know if they steal that Rolex, people are going to go from, heaven and earth to find that thing. And they're in public enemy number one if they steal that damn thing. It's not even as much like a don't. It's more of like a warning. Like, if you do, like, we're going to have Jason Statham come after your ass for that watch. But yes, Jack Bech, it's going to be great to hopefully go to see him play in Vegas. Only a very short drive from where we live. A straight shot, just 5 hours, and it's actually affordable for us. So like, it's a almost like a dream come true that he's that close to watch play football and watch him really take over. And even if we can't make the drive for one weekend, usually the Raiders are on TV and where we live, so it's just amazing. And hopefully the Raiders actually get down to winning and giving him a quarterback, and hopefully they're actually successful as well. But Jack Bech, former LSU Tiger, just an incredible dude. His family, they mean a lot to Louisiana, and it's just a great story to see this type of not ending to his well, it is really the ending of his college phase, an NFL draft day. But it's just great to see this kind of moment of just ultimate exhilaration, where a lot of people did not think Jack Bech would get drafted this high, and he proved a lot of people wrong. And you really wish things would have been different and he could have stayed at LSU, but hey, you know what? The way things turned out, I'm okay with Jack ending his career like this, of course. Who was picked after Jack as far as like Tigers? Was it Emory Jones? Okay, yes, I think it was Emory. Emory Jones goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Wow. And he was also joined by, there was another Tiger who went to Baltimore as well. I'm trying to think of who the hell went to Baltimore as well. Who was it that went to Baltimore? There was two who were drafted by Baltimore. It was like, oh, okay, that's badass. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? No, it's not almost it. Who is it? Was it Garrett Dellinger? Did they literally draft Garrett Dellinger and Emory Jones? Let me see. I'm just looking for those three letters, baby. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Wow. Garrett Dellinger and Emory Jones both drafted by Baltimore. That's actually pretty crazy. And it's crazy to me that Garrett Dellinger fell clear the 7th round. I think that's nuts. And I think it's probably injury related. But I think Garrett Dellinger, he seems to be one of those type of guys who you'd think would play a long time in the NFL. Someone who's always going to be available. Someone who's always going to be, high value, high elite on every play. Someone who he might not be flashy. He might not be able to stand up to the best, the most elite pass rushers or most dexterous 3-techs, but he's versatile and he will compete his ass off and he will fight on every single play. But 7th round seems like a fall that I think is just a little insane. I think it's because of the injuries for Garrett Dellinger. But it's cool to see two former offensive linemen of LSU picked to play together alongside each other. Where, Garrett played left guard, Emory played right tackle, so they were never really alongside each other technically. But, you could move Emory to guard as well. You could have both of these guys play guard. You could have both these guys play tackle potentially, although I don't think Garrett Dellinger would be able to play tackle in the NFL. I don't think he has the length to do that. But Emory Jones, 91st overall, I think I really don't know how to feel about it because I think he should not have gone in this draft, but at the same time, right now he just signed a contract worth millions. It's hard to tell someone not to when, who knows what could have happened this next season if he's playing. Maybe he breaks his leg or some crazy thing happens. And someone could say, hey, maybe that could happen his rookie year. Yeah, but he would already have signed and getting millions at least. And he will have state-of-the-art, professional, medical teams taking care of him, who are also kind of rooting for him to be successful because they wasted a draft pick on him, right? They wouldn't just be like, oh, let's just throw him away. They'd be like, no, we're not going to waste this draft pick. We just use this draft pick on this dude. We want him to be successful, go all in, so it is a big deal. And maybe he went early because, hell, he saw some of the injuries to Garrett Dellinger and Miles Frazier right before his eyes. Garrett Dellinger's stock, he was probably a third, maybe early fourth round guy projected when the season began. Garrett Dellinger falls all the way to 7th. Almost didn't get drafted. It's just crazy. Emory Jones, his draft stock fell big time too. He was supposed to be a late first round pick, projected late first round pick, early second round at the latest going into the season. And over the course of this last season, you saw his stock fall. And not necessarily all of it was on him, but there were some moments where Emory, it was probably Emory's least impressive season, really, this last year, which is very strange. But I think it was also because of the injuries to the guards as well. It affected the tackles, Will and Emory. I think they took false steps inside, trying to help or trying to just get, it's almost like human reaction, instinctual kind of stuff to move inside when you see Paul Mubenga going to get eaten alive for his 9th pressure of the game, But Emory Jones, and then 3rd round, 91st overall, but then Garrett Dellinger as well, 7th round, both taken by the Ravens. Absolutely nuts. And then 6th round, we don't want to. Let's do this in chronological order, you madman. Okay, 3rd. Emory Jones, 3rd round, 91st overall, 27th pick of the 3rd round. Savion Jones, selected by the Broncos. 101st pick of the draft. And this is great. I love this pick because Savion just became a father. He's got a little girl. And I feel like, Savion, I feel like he hasn't quite had that huge breakout season where he's been able to go wire to wire as like a dominant, like 10+ sack force. I don't think he's been able to have that just yet because when he was going into the 2023 campaign and was ready to do that, building to that after a really strong 2022 off the bench with 3.5 sacks and a few forced fumbles, he was forced into a big weight gain for some strange reason. And he was able to put up a lot of pressures, but he could not put those pressures into sacks. And that was a big deal that that really took a lot of sacks off the plate for Savion Jones if you go back and you watch the tape. And then you go and you watch his performance against USC, where he had, 2.5 sacks, 2 sacks, was dominant against that team, wrecked that offensive line for much of that game, had a bunch of stops in the run game as well. USC, I think, had one big run play of like 30 yards, and that was like all they did the entire game. It was a big play, though. So it was a big play, but like they could barely run on us. And Savion Jones tackling, his off-the-ball brilliance, his ability to shed blockers. If you can get him in the perfect shape, which I believe is not 280, 285, or even anywhere close to that. I think you get him down even to like 275, maybe even 280. But it just seemed he was just too beefy to finish off some of these plays. And I think maybe he would even agree with that. We did a cool interview with Savion Jones a few years back where he told us a really intense story about when he was growing up, and he was talking about how I'm trying to think, he was fighting for his life through some type of medical emergency that was going on when he was very little. We're talking like just barely at birth. And I remember when he told us that story on an interview I did with him, it absolutely blew my mind. And it was just like, whew, like, man, Savion. Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
Just born infant when this
Here's
happens.
the clip. Let's unmute this.
So, I had to like a just born infant when this happened. So, I had to hear this story from my mama a lot of times. So basically, when I was young, when I was an infant, I had trouble breathing. So what they did was had a wire, like something like a breathing tube hooked up to my neck. And basically, when I was young, I ended up yanking the wire away from my neck, and which basically so-called killed me. And it was like a very traumatic experience for my mom, because she told me how, like, your heart stopped, and like the doctor tried to bring you back, and how I had to get airlifted in a helicopter to another hospital and stuff like that. And she said, by the grace of God, I just my heart started beating again, and I was able to live. And from that forward on, I always count myself as a blessing since day one.
Man, there's that scar. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what he went through. Savion Jones, man. And that's why we're rooting for him as well. This is just a good dude who's really, we love his family as well. His mom is so awesome. Like, this is a good group of people. I was able to actually say hi, what's up to his mom before the game, waiting in the media line. Saw her, I'm like, hey, yeah, give her a big hug, and I'm just like, hey, Savion's gonna have a big game, 2 sacks, has 2 sacks. This was in Vegas before the LSU USC game. Has the 2 sacks, boom, boom, shakalaka. Like, just incredible. Just incredible to see him get that chance, because I don't think a lot of people predicted that Savion Jones would get picked that high as well either. I think it was kind of like no, he's not going to get picked that high. He'll be like a 5th, 6th round guy, because his numbers maybe to a lot of people weren't that impressive. But if you watch his athleticism, the way he fights off of the blocks, gets to that quarterback, gets that penetration, how could you not want to get this dude? Because it's like, hey, if we can get him at the right weight, get him at the right size, he's going to be a quarterback killer. Love Savion Jones. And I'm just happy that him and his family getting that bag they deserve. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. How can you not love to see all these families who have, a lot of them struggling financially for years, and just taking financial risk after risk after risk to put their son, their kid through this, through that, through this camp, through go to pay for their schooling at LSU, even with a scholarship, all this stuff, all this extra stuff, just growing up, putting him through football, all the extra jobs, all the extra time, the rides, wow, the sacrifices. It's incredible what these families, these parents do. So it's really it's a celebration for not just the players themselves. It's also the entire families. Um, it's a family day. It's a family award. It's a family moment, and it's really like kind of like winning the Oscar of being an LSU Tiger, in my opinion. Like, you have made it. You have arrived. This is what every LSU Tiger is meant to do. So be selected in the draft, go to the NFL, get paid the money that will literally set your family up for the next few generations. That's what it's about. It's not about, making a ton of NIL money and driving a Charger and trying to look flashy and cool. It's about working your ass off, grinding, getting up way too early, staying up way too late, doing the things nobody else is willing to do, and knowing that sometimes it's kind of the patient and who are going to win those type of races. The patient, the most dedicated. And it's so beautiful to see people like Jack Bech, his family, who've been through so much, get a night of just pure, just exhilaration. And of course, there's going to be still bittersweet sadness that Tiger couldn't have been there to witness it. But Tiger was there. That's the thing. He is here. And I believe that with everybody that we've lost. Kyron Lacy. I think Kyron Lacy was there in spirit as well at the draft night. I was told by multiple players who walked that stage, or were selected, and they said, that was really eerie. There was something that was really something like I could feel like he was around the corner, kind of smirking, about to make a joke. Like, he would be quite a presence, man. Quite a presence you couldn't really forget too soon whatsoever. And I knew Kyron Lacy in a very limited fashion, but even to me, death from him was very just ugly, and just terrible, and just the worst type of thing that could happen, and just feel so horrible for his family. But I think it's amazing that all of his teammates, all of his brothers, showed that camaraderie and that love and that togetherness. And that's the thing that's also sad about this group of guys, these group of Tigers. They all deserved, because of the way they were together and love each other. They were there at each other's draft nights all over the place, sharing, going from there to Kyron Lacy's funeral on April 26th. We're talking about just yesterday, during people getting drafted, or Savion Jones literally went to Lacy's funeral and then got drafted, like crazy. But that's the thing. These guys had that love for each other, those bonds for each other, and that's why you wanted to see. These guys were so talented, were so great, they're so dedicated. They loved LSU, and they were good guys. You wanted to see these guys win a championship at LSU. You wanted to see a Jack Bech. You wanted to see a Kyron Lacy. You wanted to see Savion Jones. You wanted to see Emory Jones, Will Campbell. You want to see all these guys leave LSU, Malik Neighbors, Jaden Daniels. You want to see these guys leave LSU with a national championship. And that is why it makes it very, very important that we kind of like, hey, we can't do anything about that, but we can do something about making sure that, Garrett Nussmeier and Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins and Jacobian Guillory, those type of guys don't leave LSU without a ring. That's what we can do. That we can make sure that, these next superstars at LSU, Chris Hilton Jr., Aaron Anderson, these guys don't leave LSU without a ring. That's what we can do. But it's just beautiful to see these guys drafted, these guys taken. And Savion Jones, and then who else? Savion Jones was the second to last pick of the third round. Fourth round. I think, yeah, there wasn't a single Tiger pick in that fourth round. Okay. So where the fifth, there was a few. Braden Swinson dropped all the way to the fifth round to the Patriots. Man. And then, of course, Miles Frazier dropped way deep, it seems, to the Lions. 171st pick. And he's going to be rejoining 2022-2023 teammate Kai Wingo there in Detroit. And Braden Swinson joins Will Campbell in New England, which is awesome. I can't believe Braden Swinson dropped to the fifth round. That's literally disrespectful. Like, why was this kid not valued? I want to know. I want to hear why he wasn't thought of as going to be a freak, because he absolutely has every tool to be an absolute monster in the NFL, a Micah Parsons type player. I mean, he really only just scratched the surface of what's possible at LSU, and he had the most sacks for a Tiger defensive lineman, a Tiger defensive player. Had the most sacks of any Tiger defensive player since Arden Key set the record with 12 in 2016. 8.5 this last year for Braden Swinson, though he's credited with 9 by Pro Football Focus. Braden Swinson falls clear to the fifth round. I just can't believe that. Makes no sense. But here's the thing. He's going to get a chance, and he's got to make that money last, and he's got to make that money go long, and he's got to stretch that money out. But here's the thing. He's got to play for that second contract. That's what he's got to do. He's just got to play his ass for that second contract. And maybe this is a blessing in disguise and turns him into a Hall of Fame player. Maybe if he's drafted in the first or second round and he's way hyped and way loved and way highly thought of and way highly paid, maybe he comes into wherever it is, first round, early second round, and completely has kind of the wrong vibe going into it. I don't think he would, though. I don't think Braden would. I don't know why he wasn't selected as a first, maybe early second round pick. I think that's where Braden probably belongs. Is probably late first, early second round. Someone wants to take a chance on him in that first round. They think, hey, we've got a great edge rusher on the other side, like a Micah Parsons or something, and we want to join him up with a young dude who can kind of be under his wing, and these two can work as a tandem. Like, you can't draft anyone better than Braden Swinson. So it made no sense to see that. But that's what we saw. He dropped clear the fifth round. Stunning. But is what it is. Shadur Sanders dropped clear the fifth round. And everyone in the world's had an opinion about that, it seems, but we really don't. It seems like people want to make everything racial. The NFL wants to make it a little bit racial by like, oh, he's kind of being way too flamboyant as a young black man, and that kind of offends us. And then maybe the black viewpoint is maybe too, hey, everything is, what's the word here? A collusion against Shador. Maybe there is both sides are kind of at fault here type of vibe, and like we just need to calm them down. Maybe that's what's going on. And maybe Shadur Sanders is actually put in a great position that he can take over that franchise and make it its own in Cleveland. Because that's what he wants to do, is really be the guy and kind of take over there. Well, that's your spot, man. That's your chance. So, I mean, I get it. It's not really the place you'd want to go. And it's not really getting drafted in the 5th round when he's a first, second round talent. Obviously, the NFL doesn't think he is. But you know what? They didn't think Tom Brady was either. We're not comparing him to Tom Brady, but we're comparing him to Tom Brady and like a bunch of other guys that they were wrong about. Clearly wrong about. They were wrong about Kurt Warner, like they were wrong about many, many other quarterbacks. They're wrong about Ryan Leaf, thinking he was great. I mean, this just the evaluation of quarterbacks by the NFL is something that has been just rotten at its core for a long time and absolutely filled with a cesspool of favoritism, politics, and bullshit bias. Where, like, I will tell you, Jack Bech, we're biased. We love his family. Absolutely consider them family. Like, literally take a bullet for those people. Like, not joking around. Like those type of people. That's. Sorry, I completely just had a brain wipe where I'm like, whoa, where was I going there? Good God, I lost my train of thought. We're talking about the Shader Sanders thing. Oh yeah, we're talking about them being wrong about quarterbacks. I really have completely lost my train of thought. This is absolutely hilarious. Wow. Good Lord. Shader Sanders. Yeah, I who knows where I was going there with that thought. I know it was a good thought, but for once today we kind of lost our thought track. They've been wrong about a lot of quarterbacks. They've been wrong about a lot of players. Braden Swinson shouldn't have gone in the 5th round. That's kind of ridiculous. There's a long list of these type of situations. But what you have to do is you have to then get down and grind and go for the next opportunity, which is that second contract, and kind of making a mark regardless. Everybody, before we lose our mind anymore, wow, I cannot believe I lost my train of thought that bad. Holy crap. It was like I was having an acid flashback or something. We will be talking to you guys soon. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We got a big audience tonight. Thank you all so much. This is so cool. This is something else. I'm really appreciative of you guys watching. This is so cool. Thank you all so much. I really, you don't know how much it means to me, and you have no idea. Thank you all.